So first off, before we get started, we're going to talk about what is digital marketing. And really, digital marketing covers a lot of areas. It's very broad. And really what it refers to is just marketing that a company does, a person does, an individual, a group, an organization, and they do it in the form of an electronic device or with the aid of the internet. That's really what digital marketing is. It's just having something digitally, not something tangible like a billboard or a newspaper or TV. And with that, there are lots of places where you can apply digital marketing. And so electronic devices, we think of mobile devices. And so you could certainly use mobile as a form of digital marketing or to help you with your marketing efforts digitally. Okay, you can create apps, you can run advertising on mobile, you can communicate with different people, your target audience, via different devices like WhatsApp and messaging. Okay, there's also search engines. Search engines is where a lot of people get their information from, at least start to do their research to get information. You got social media, lots of different social media platforms, all the way from tweeting to blogging to social sharing to social content. Okay, so a lot of platforms under the bucket social media. You also have traditional forms of digital marketing like email. You can use different email platforms to send out emails. So lots of different ways to communicate your product, your service, your message to a large number of people that are really targeted to your efforts. How is digital marketing useful? Well, we know it provides different metrics. Why do we know it provides different metrics? Because it's all digital. Okay, so anytime you send out an email or post something on Facebook, you're going to get data back. And when you get data back, you could take that data to determine how well that post or that email performed. And if it didn't perform up to expectation, you can make changes to improve performance. That's called optimization. Okay, so that's the great thing about digital marketing. It's useful in that we get data, in some cases instantaneously, and we're able to make changes in order to optimize that campaign. We can also, provide personalized user experience. So meaning if we know who our targeted audience is on, say, Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook, we can really cater our messaging to that group. Probably most importantly is that digital marketing compared to traditional forms of marketing allow us to really reach a global audience very easily at a very low cost. That's the key. So if I want to target people in India or Nepal or Pakistan, I can certainly do that. And I can do that with the snap of a campaign, and I can get data back. And based on the data, I can tailor that experience even better. Really, it just allows us to really hone in on a particular audience anywhere in the world very quickly. So these are just three of the main reasons why digital marketing is useful. Some other experiences or uses for digital marketing, again, it provides a cost-effective alternative to traditional marketing. So, for those that are familiar with purchasing advertising on, say, TV or radio, you have to pick a spot. You have to pick a program and then pick a time slot associated with that program. So somebody's watching a program and that program tends to draw in a specific target audience, then you want to show your ad around the time when that program is slotted to air on TV because you're likely going to reach your audience. However, to purchase that time slot could be competitive and could be very costly, where there are forms of advertising and paying for advertising digitally, and those forms are cost per click or cost per impression. And so using a cost per click or cost per impression model allows you to really go head to head in kind of an auction style format where you can control how much you pay and potentially get that prime spot in front of your target audience. So it really does become cost effective. And it allows you to make small investments to get a really substantial return on ROI. So let's just say your cost per click is only 10 cents, but you're selling a product for $10. Well, all you need is one click and one sale to generate a very substantial return on investment. And so knowing that you get metrics back on a campaign you could slowly or quickly optimize that campaign towards a very positive ROI. And then another use for digital marketing, it just enables targeting users based on their actions and preferences. So again, we can really hone in on who we want to target. It really depends on the platform, but if you take Google Ads, for example, and you want to target the display network, well, we know we have demographics, we know we have topics, we know we have interest, we know we have retargeted audiences, in-segment audiences, we have age, we have gender, so you have a lot of options available to choose from to really hone in on who you want to target. And we talk about remarketing is another form of digital marketing. So you can set up a marketing campaign. So if somebody comes to your website and does not purchase the product or service that you're offering, you could take action on that behavior. So I can retarget a group of people who didn't purchase. That's retargeting. Or you could do it via remarketing. And basically, that's the beauty of digital marketing. It allows you to really target users based on their actions. Some other uses for digital marketing, it helps build brand awareness and reputation of your business. So when we say brand awareness, if you're just launching a company and nobody knows who you are, if we use Google Ads as our preferred method of digital marketing and establishing campaigns, we can choose that display network. That display network on Google Ads reaches a large amount of people. So you can really get your name out there and really target your intended audience and allow that targeted intended audience to really understand who you are, because they're going to see your ad in the form of a banner or in the form of a video or in the form of text. And so that's the beauty of digital marketing. You can really reach a lot of people and a lot of people who might be interested in your product or service. And then digital marketing provides a platform for you to be interactive with your audience, helping you stay relevant and competitive. And the best example I can give here is YouTube. And so YouTube's it's a search engine for videos, but it's a video sharing platform. And so if I upload a video, then I can entice people to comment on that video or like the video or share the video. And I can really interact with that audience by responding to their comments or, putting together a playlist or giving them more videos. Okay, so I can really interact with my audience. And I could do that on multiple platforms, not just YouTube and video. I can blog and interact based on somebody's comments. I can have a website and have live chat and interact with my audience. So there's lots of different ways to interact with an audience, and that's what digital marketing provides. So I already mentioned a few examples based on the uses of digital marketing. I mentioned Google's display network. I mentioned YouTube and blogging and social media platforms like Facebook. Well, there are lots of different types of digital marketing channels out there. And we're going to talk about a few of them today. We're going to start with search engine optimization. And so search engine optimization, as you probably know from the name, involves search engine. And it involves really making your site relevant in the eyes of that search engine. So if you're in the United States, you know that Google has a large market share, meaning a lot of people use Google on a daily basis. So we want to make sure we do everything we can to optimize our site in order to make our site relevant for those coveted keywords. Now, why do we want to make ourselves relevant for those coveted keywords that we want to be found for on search? Well, because a lot of people use search. And when a lot of people use search and you're found for those keyword queries, then it's going to increase the flow of organic traffic to your website. So the higher you rank, in theory, the more traffic you're going to get. And so when we talked about optimization, how do we optimize our site in order to be relevant in the eyes of Google? Well, it really comes down to a two-pronged approach. You have on-page SEO, you have off-page SEO. On-page has everything to do with your website in order to make it relevant. Off-page has everything to do with your website, but not on your website. It means that how can we become relevant by linking to other websites, for example? How can we become relevant? By getting our content on other platforms so we become relevant in the eyes of Google. So that's off-page SEO. So SEO is always going to be two-pronged. What you do on your website and what you do off the website to make sure your website, your domain, whatever that domain is, .com or .org, is relevant in the eyes of Google. And so let's take a look at on-page SEO first. So like I mentioned, it involves optimizing your website. And when we say optimizing your website, there's a lot of things you can do on your website to make it relevant in the eyes of Google. And we can look at the content, okay? We can look at the source code. And so there are a lot of different components to be looked at here. So you have the header tag, you have the meta description, you have the alt tag, you have how fast your page loads, you have internal linking, you have a sitemap, you have lots of different things going on here. And so for me, one of the first things you should do when you create a page on your website is to make sure the title tag is unique and includes those keywords. So if we look here at this example, the title tag is important because that's what shows up in search results. Here you can see the title tag on Google is up to 65 characters. So you always want to include that keyword in the title tag. Then you have your URL, and then you have what you call a meta description. So that's underneath the URL, underneath the title tag. And again, this is in search results. So organic search results. Somebody types in a keyword, you want to be found, and you want your title tag to stick out, and you want your meta description to specifically describe what it is you're offering. Okay, so again, if somebody's looking for stock imagery, then you want to make sure that you know that person who's looking for stock imagery can come to your website, and they can, in this case, search for millions of royalty-free stock images, photos, videos, and music. And so you want your description to really get that person to click on your listing, an organic search. That's the whole point. So that's the point of a title tag and a meta description, is you really want to be found for what somebody's searching for, and you want to be able to show them that you have what they're looking for. You have something here underneath your organic search results called site links. And site links are just links to pages on your website. And so unfortunately, this is not necessarily in your control. This is in the control of Google. So if Google wants to offer up site links underneath your title tag and meta description, they will add them. And it's based really on the amount of content you have. And that goes with site search. So you can see also there's site search there underneath the meta description. All of that is contingent upon your website. Do you have a lot of content? And if you have a lot of relevant content, then Google will naturally add in site links underneath your organic listing to links to other pages on your site. So that's on-page SEO, and now we're going to look at off-page SEO. Okay, so off-page SEO involves using promotional methods beyond just optimizing your site. For example, optimizing your title tag and meta description might not be enough to get you to rank for that coveted keyword query. So we need to do some link building. We need to get our name out there on other websites. Okay, so we need to be able to establish some external links or backlinks from high quality relevant sites to our site. And it may not just necessarily have to be a link, because Google recognizes linkless backlinks. So just having a reference on a high quality site may be good enough to get you in the eyes of Google to become more relevant. Okay, so that's off-page SEO in definition. So really what we want to do is we want to establish a way to get links from other websites to our own, or references on other websites to our website. We want to build those links to help us gain in ranking. So there's lots of ways to do that. You have social media. Again, you have social content sites like Reddit, Medium, Quora. You have blogging. Okay, there's lots of ways to establish yourself out there on the internet. You just need to make sure they're quality sites, and you need to make sure they're relevant. And so when you do get a link on an external site pointing back to yours, you want to make sure it's a follow. So you want to make sure that Google knows to follow that link from that site to yours. So if you're out there establishing content on a third-party website or another website and they're going to link back to you, just make sure that it's a follow. Do follow, not a no follow. Okay, and I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like here. So if you're not sure what the difference is, here I'm on backlinko.com, and really a no follow versus a do follow is simply in the href. So in the href, if you don't have anything in there other than the link, then the search engines are going to follow that link from that external site to yours. And if you have a no follow in that link, then the search engines are going to ignore the link. So they're not going to pick up the backlink or external link to your site. And that's simply that site just adding the rel equals no follow. Okay, so if you see that in the link pointing to your site from that external site, then that means you're not going to get credit for that backlink. So you always want to shoot for a do follow link, because that means you're going to get credit for the backlink. Okay, so again, do follow links allow search engine crawlers to follow the link, and if they can follow it, you're going to get what they call link juice, and that's going to establish some reputation to your domain. A no follow link basically doesn't allow the search engines to follow that link, so it doesn't pass on the link juice. Now, again, search engines like Google are smart enough to pick up the association between a website that talks about your website and your website. So meaning, if you don't have a link and if you have a no follow link on that site, don't fret, because Google has come a long way. They're not necessarily focused on links, though it does help. So for example, if you are on a very prominent site and there's no link, then you still may get credit, because Google does recognize linkless backlinks, and that's what they call a linkless backlink, is just having a reference on that site. But you always want to try and get that follow, not the do not follow. Okay, so here you can see an example of off-page SEO. Okay, like TripAdvisor would be a good example. A link that redirects from TripAdvisor to, the Oprah magazine as an example. So the Oprah magazine is going to get a backlink from TripAdvisor to the site. So if Google crawls TripAdvisor,